Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to show you how to create FIFA Penalty Shootout in Unity 3D. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm sure you've seen football penalty shootouts in FIFA and in real life, so we're going to recreate that in Unity. To give you an idea, this is what the final product will look like. If you follow this whole short tutorial, you'll be able to make a penalty shootout game just like this. Let's get started. Step 1 is to open Unity Hub and create a new 3D Unity project. Step 2 is open the Unity Asset Store and download the Football Essentials 3D Asset Pack by Lightning Poly. Once you've downloaded the Football Essential assets and imported them into your Unity scene, please open the demo scene. Step 4 is to create an empty object called Arrow Pivot. Now put it at the World Transform position of the ball. Alternatively, you can look at the transform position I have here on the screen. Then inside Arrow Pivot, create a cylinder and give it the following transform like you can see here. This cylinder is going to rotate left and right. It's going to be an arrow so that the user can point where they want their football to go for the penalty. Next, in Arrow Pivot, also create a canvas. In the canvas, create a slider. In the slider, first make it non-interactable by unchecking this box. Then make it go from minimum value of 0 to maximum value of 1. Then in the background of the slider, please make it this screenshot. You can screenshot it from this screen right here. It's kind of a gradient so that the user can choose how powerful they want the penalty to look like. Then go to Fill and make that completely transparent by making the A value 0. Now with everything done for Arrow Pivot, let's start coding. The first thing that we're going to code is the direction selector script. This is going to be attached to Arrow Pivot. In the direction selector script, please use the code that I have here on the screen. Let me walk you through the code. In the beginning, we define several variables and initialize some of them. For example, the rotation speed, the rotation range, the current angle, the direction, etc. This will allow us to control the logic of the direction arrow and control it to move left and right and allow the user to select which direction they want the penalty to go. Next, in update, what we're going to do is that we're going to check if we've locked the direction, if the user has locked their direction choice. If they have, then we're also going to turn on the power slider. But if they haven't, we're going to make the power slider hidden. Next, we're going to allow the direction selector to move left and right like we intended to with time. And once the user clicks the down arrow on their mouse, we're going to store that direction value. Next, we're going to have a method called getDirection, which is going to return the direction value that the user has chosen when we need it. The next script we're going to make is called the power script, and this is going to be on the slider. First, in the power script, please use the code that I have here. Let me walk you through the power script. The power script is the logic behind the power slider, which allows the user to determine how much power they want to add to their penalty kick. First, we define and initialize several variables like the speed, the slider itself, and the timer. Then, in update, we check if the user has locked their preference for how much power they want to give to the penalty kick. If they haven't locked it, we're going to continue the timer and we're going to make the slider go from left to right like a ping pong style sort of slider, just like you saw in the demo. So you saw how the slider went from the least amount of power to the most amount of power over time. And when the user clicks on the down button, we store the power value and then we lock their selection by making isLock true. Or if you're following along, now there should be a direction arrow and a power slider. When the user firstly clicks the down button, they're going to pick the direction. Then when they click the down button on their mouse again, they're going to click how much power they want the penalty ball to have. But the ball doesn't actually shoot yet, so let's start coding that. To make the ball actually shoot, let's create an empty object called ball shooter. In this empty object, create a new script called Penalty Shooter. Then let's open up that script and start coding it. In that script, we're going to first initialize a few variables. The first two will reference the other scripts. The other one is going to reference the rigid body of the ball, then the max power, and then if the ball has been shot yet or not, and that's a false or a true value. In the update method, we're just going to make sure that the direction and the power have actually been selected. If they haven't yet been selected, we're not going to execute anything. Then if they have been selected and the ball has not been shot yet, we're going to shoot the ball. And how that's going to work is that we're going to use the direction and the power from the other two scripts. Then we're going to add force to the rigid body of the ball. Then 2.5 seconds after that, we're going to reset it. But don't worry about that for now. For the reset script, we're not far along enough yet in the tutorial for it to actually work. So I want you to include that code, but I want you to comment it out so that it doesn't error anything. To comment something, just put 2 slashes right before it. Now, we're going to head back to Unity and assign all the objects to all the variables for all 3 scripts. For example, in the penalty shooter script, we're going to drag and drop the power selector and the direction selector scripts, as well as the ball's rigid body. And then in the other script for the direction selector, we are also going to input the ranges as well as the slider and the cylinder. And then in the power script, we're going to input the slider as well as the speed and the power value. Let's go to the ball script. You can locate the ball script by looking at the ball object and then going on the script, clicking that, and then I want you to put the following code. It's going to freeze the position temporarily of the ball. Next, we're going to create an empty object in the goal. And then in this empty object, I'm going to call it Trigger Collider, as you can see here. Here we're going to make a box collider, and I want you to perfectly fit this box collider, as you can see that I have, within the goalpost. You can edit the box collider by clicking the Edit Collider button and changing the size in the center with numbers and trying out what works the best. Once that's done, click the Is Trigger button and create a new script called Goal Trigger. In Goal Trigger, what I want you to do is to follow the code that I have here. It's basically going to declare a new variable called goal text, and we're going to check if the tag of the collision is ball, and if it is, then we're going to make the goal text goal score. Now we're going to head back to the ball and add a tag to it. Basically, just add a tag in Unity and make it a ball tag with a capital B, since the code is case sensitive. What I also want you to do is create a canvas in the hierarchy, and in the canvas, I want you to put a text and make it red, and you can make it whatever you like, but I had 52 font size and I had bold. And just just don't put any text in it. Just keep it there for now. Now let's go back to the Trigger Collider. In the Goal Trigger object, just drag and drop the text that we just created. If you've been following along till now, the ball should properly shoot, and it should also tell you if the ball has been scored, and that's awesome. Next, let's head back to the commented out code in the ball shooter script. I want you to uncomment that now. It's going to be angry for a while and give you an error, but now we're going to fix that by creating a new empty object called Reset Manager. In Reset Manager, I want you to put the following code. Reset Manager is basically going to reset the ball back to the original position so you can play again after you scored. Once you're done with that, head back to Unity and go back to the Reset Manager object and fill in all the empty fields for all the variables with the actual objects that you want. Then, what we're going to do is we're going to make the goalie work. Right now, the goalie just stands there, and that isn't good because in real life, the goalie is actually going to defend the goal. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go to the character object and we're going to add a new script called goalie script. In goalie script, I want you to put the exact code that I have here. Firstly, we're going to declare some variables like the minimum Z and the maximum Z. We're going to have this range, and then we're going to use the ping pong method in Unity so that the goalie goes from the end of the goal to the beginning of the goal, basically. Once that's done, I would like you to test out the code. If you've been following along till now, the game should be 100% complete. We can shoot the ball as a penalty, and if we made it into the goal, the game will tell us by showing us a text saying you scored. And regardless of if we made it or not, after 2.5 seconds, it's going to reset so that we have another try, and it's going to keep doing that so we can keep playing this game again and again and again. This was a really cool, fun, and simple tutorial, and I hope that it completely worked for you. If you have any questions, please make sure to rewatch the video so you're not missing anything, and if you still need help, feel free to drop a comment down below and I'll be able to help you there. Additionally, all the scripts are in a GitHub link which I've included in the description below. This video was incredibly difficult and took a lot of time to make, so I'd really appreciate that if you liked it, leave a like as well as a comment and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Check out more videos here.